Good afternoon, everybody. You well? Yeah, having a good conference? Good. Hello there. I would like to speak with you this afternoon about leadership and its role in establishing and creating a world-class health and safety culture, something which I'm sure all of us here today want to achieve. Now, the role of leadership cannot be underestimated in creating this. In fact, without effective leadership, any organization will fail in achieving its health and safety goals. Now then, why is this? Well, despite all of the rules and the regulations that we have in British industry today, people still choose to break the rules, to deviate from safe systems of work. Why? Because they're human beings. They have free will. Managers and supervisors cannot force operatives to behave in any particular way. So, there are two ways in which people will choose to work safely. The first of these is because they have to, because they fear the consequences of not doing so. The second is because they want to, because they see that working safely is the right thing to do, and this is what they want to do. But how do you force somebody to want to do something? You can't. The only way that you can make anybody do anything at work is through effective leadership. But how can you pin down a health and safety culture? It's a very tricky thing. What does it consist of? How do you define it? Well, there are four main categories which any organization will need to address if they want to achieve a world-class status. First of all, policies and procedures. Secondly, training and equipment. Thirdly, safe behaviors. Fourthly, leadership. Now, most organizations are excellent at achieving these two. Not so good at the top two. Why do you think this is? Anyone? Sorry? Prescriptive, yeah, indeed. Anybody else? Yeah, sure. Legal obligation. Yeah. Do you want to maybe expand on that a bit? Yep, good point. Excellent. As you said, these bottom two, they are mandatory and auditable. Obviously, the top two, not so much, especially leadership. But without effective leadership, a company does not stand a chance. In fact, the effect that poor leadership can have on an organization's culture can be extremely damaging. These managers that don't wear the correct PPE or who break the speed limit in the company car park by racing their fancy new cars about, the effect that that can have on an organization's culture can be extremely damaging. Now, somebody once said something to me which I believe to be very true, and I do hold to it. The lowest standards that we display as leaders are the highest standards that we can expect from the people that we lead. Now, that saying comes from Sandhurst, the training college for officers in the British Army. They should know a thing or two about that. So, as leaders, as managers, leading by example, it's not the main way of influencing people. It is the only way. Now, whether that's down to wearing the correct PPE, following the rules, making the right safety decisions, managers, supervisors should be leading by example at every turn.
I just cannot believe that you're standing up here and saying this. Can I? Is that?
Sorry, Helen?
Yeah, after Bill's accident, after what happened, do you really expect any of us to take you seriously?
Yeah, Helen, I don't think this is the time or the place to be talking about this, okay?
I think it is. It's our annual health and safety conference. I can't think of anywhere more appropriate, actually.
Yeah, Helen, I know you're upset about what happened to Bill, so am I, but if we could just talk about this later on.
Upset? Yeah, I am upset. Yeah, holding Bill up in the decontamination shower while his skin melted off his face was pretty upsetting.
Okay, Helen, please just don't, okay?
Well, I'm sorry, look, listen, and you can stand up there and you can say that you're leading by example, but it was your fault. okay? You're the one who piled on the pressure. You're the one who forced Bill into it. Right? I know exactly, and he can say whatever he wants, but I'm sorry, I can't listen to this. I feel sick.
Sorry. Yeah, I can actually do this. Thing is, Helen, yeah, she's right. It was my fault.
Afternoon, everyone. How you doing, all right? The stunned silence has fallen across the arena. I'd like to start off with a quick straw poll, a quick show of hands. Put your hand up for me if you've ever been to a health and safety conference. Stick your hand up if you have, okay? Yeah? Right up if you've never been to, well, your first time, well, welcome. All right, stick your hand up if you've ever seen a leader stand up at a health and safety conference and do a speech or a presentation about health and safety in that business. Stick your hand up if you've seen that before. Right up in the air, not just your finger. Yeah, okay, lovely stuff. Okay. Stick your hand up if you've stood there, if you've sat there listening and you've just gone, I don't believe a word this person is saying. They just don't mean it. Stick your hand up if that is the case as well. Okay, maybe even in your own organization. And that is what this session is all about. Not just saying the right words, but actually doing the right thing. It's about authentic leadership. And we've set you up a bit here this afternoon just to make sure you're all awake and get you thinking differently and maybe get you taking part at an early stage. So that's good. Some of you maybe know that Juice Learning, we use actors and theatre and film and that kind of thing. Maybe some of you didn't. But we've set you up a bit here. Guys, do you want to just come back on and we'll reveal who you are? Give them a round of applause, please, folks. Good stuff. This is Harriet and this is Kellen. And we will be...
He's not one of us.
He's not an actor, or are you? I don't know, okay? We'll be seeing a bit more of them throughout the course of this hour-long session. Thank you, guys. You can go off and get ready for the next piece. I better introduce myself, let you know who I am and what we're doing here. My name is Matt. I work for this company with a slightly strange name, Juice Learning. I'm not going to explain where we got that name. If you really want to know, come and see us on our stand and we'll tell you all about it. But who are we? What do we do? Why are we here today? Well, we are what most people think of as a training organisation. We're based up in Holmfirth in West Yorkshire, but we work all over the country, internationally as well, actually on all sorts of different subjects, not just health and safety, but health and safety is about 90% of our work. By the way, just out of interest, Holmfirth is actually where they film Last of the Summer Wine. Does anyone watch Last of the Summer Wine? You admit to it as well. Most people deny all knowledge. But like I said, we work all over the country and internationally on health and safety. But we don't train people, you know, how to do safe manual handling or how to use lifting equipment or how to use the right harness when they're working from height. The kind of training we do is about people's behaviors. It's about the behaviors that everyone displays on a day-to-day basis, which define whether or not people end up in an ambulance, being rushed into their local A&E department, fighting for their lives. Because that's something that happens day in, day out, the length and breadth of this country. And it's something that our clients desperately want to avoid. You know, our clients, by the way, generally speaking, are not failing organizations. They are organizations who already have a pretty good health and safety culture. But they want to take it to the next stage. They want to take it to the next level. Most of them aspire to be world-class in health and safety. And everything that Kellen was saying in his presentation at the beginning there is true. As leaders, the lowest standards of behavior we display are the highest we can expect from those we lead. And that's why this session is all about leadership. I've been doing this work sort of 15 years or so now, and something I've learned in that time is that if you don't have effective leadership in your organization, you simply won't become world-class in health and safety. It cannot happen. So this session for the next 50 minutes is about leadership, authentic leadership. And like I said, we're going to be seeing some theatre here as well, okay? Now, we set you up at the beginning with this scenario of this guy doing a presentation to his company about health and safety. And obviously, Harriet's character getting a bit upset about what was going on there. Something has happened in the deep and distant past in this organization, something that Tom, the manager, has been involved in, and something that Harriet is not happy about. And we're going to use that storyline to explore this idea of authentic leadership, what it's all about, and how it can drive your organization forward. And also what it's not about, the kind of behaviors perhaps that define, poor leadership. So we're gonna take the storyline one step further at this point. We're gonna see our next piece of theatre. Just let me quickly, before we do that, just kind of run through my broad objectives for the session. To highlight that importance of leadership in creating the world-class culture, examine authentic leadership and the nature of backing up our words with our actions. Part of leadership, I think, is about our personal values, what drives us on a personal level. And I think that's important to show in your leadership. And something we'll look at towards the end of the session, something I call ethical boundaries, which guide our decision-making process.